After, we're within the after space now. And the digital economy, if you look at even payments, I'm not sure across Africa we can do that properly, what we have now and all that. How do we change the conversation to really gain from this after, knowing what we have in terms of our digital economy, where we've gotten to?
So you're talking about the Africa?
Yes, free trade, yes.
Well, I certainly think that those we have, we should celebrate and encourage and allow them to participate even further and take advantage of AfCFTA, especially where it's headquartered in Ghana. But I also think we need to encourage other people to be part of this, because for me, this session wasn't about exploring opportunities, but the opportunities all across. Yeah. And we can encourage more companies to participate and then get them to be involved in AfCFTA to that extent. But I think for the purpose of this chat in the last hour or so, I think we've been talking about those who are already here and how we can encourage them. But I think that for those who haven't touched it at all, there are so many of them. There are so many opportunities. Yeah. For example, I'm looking for an online university that's not Coursera or Udemy, and I don't see why we can't have one in Ghana now.
I think there was one that, unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Lawe University. It was fully online, but I don't know what happened with that. But to the after this discussion, I think it's a very important one, and organizations like ABSA, myself, ZPay, I think we need to be intentional about it, and we are. When we have a solution that we need to get from a foreign partner, we find out, is there a local partner who can do same, who can do better? Then you engage the local partner. And we've worked with people like Mpuntu and Prepis and whatnot, but people like ZPay are now expanding into Africa. So we also need to push our own Ghanaian content into the African market. And there are quite a few very, very talented individuals, people running very smart organizations that we can push to, our neighboring countries. Unfortunately, although it's headquartered here, the attitude of the Nigerian when it comes to pushing his people out into other African countries is more aggressive than the Ghanaian. So you see them, and we complain about them taking over our businesses and whatnot, but they're a little more aggressive and a little more intentional. And I think Ghana should also do the same, push our people out there who have amazing stuff, and get the other African countries to patronize it.
Okay, right. Andrew, you want to add to that quickly?
Well, in terms of free trade, we did geography, most of us, right? You know, geography will tell you once you ply a road, trade happens. Yep. It starts with somebody doing a small tabletop, then a shop, then before you know, there's a whole ecosystem is built. I think that's the next thing that's happening to Africa. This continental free trade policy agreement is a wonderful thing. We are the enablers of it. Without us, it will not be enabled. What I mean by us is players, operators, right? We are the ones that are going to make it possible, whether we allow for monetization or movement of goods and services. I'm going to go back to the reimagining conversation I was having with you. Imagine what's happening in Sahel, Mali right now. They don't have water. We have excess water, right? Water should be able to move to Mali. Somebody should be able to help follow it and monetize by making the payment possible. Our policymakers should start asking themselves, if you're regulated in a regime like Ghana, shouldn't you be allowed to passport by walking into Ivory Coast or Mali and be saying, because Ghana has licensed you, we'll license you? Because we have ECOWAS. ECOWAS globally is one of the powerful economic unions that has stood the test of time. Do you understand? So let's even start with an ECOWAS conversation before we talk about full block Africa. So that's the first thing. The second thing is also, as trade is about to move, I keep telling everybody, the size of trade that will move under AfCFTA is not going to be the 1 million we push. It's going to be 5 and 10, 20,000. A lot of people don't know this. Kumasi is a trade hub for the Sahel. Accra Market is a trade hub for Lomé, Togo, Benin. It's a trade hub for Sierra Leone, Gambia. So trade is moving already before we started talking about Africa free trade. We need to see that and enable it. And that enablement comes from private sector, but it will need a bit of hand-holding from the government. Then I also want to say that the time has come for the government to create a hand-holding platform that is going to take existing fintechs, existing corporate startups, and new startups or ideation stage, and just say, you know what, we think what you are doing is great. We're going to propel for growth. Because that's what Hong Kong did. That's what Singapore did. The UK, they have something called the Khalifa program. It was first a report, now it's a full-blown program in the UK. We need to, you see, we need to be intentional and desperate.
Yeah.
We need to be desperate that we will not become what Franklin described. Because if in the fourth revolution we are what? We're in the third world, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
And this problem is a major issue. It's not one we should politicize. It's not a partisan conversation. It's all of us, our children are at play. All of us, our cousins and our nephews are at play.
Right.
That's my take.
All right, sure.
Oh, I think on the after conversation, as a bank, we are really supportive, integrating into the payments engine to make sure that we are ready when the conversations are being had. So I think that's what I'll just touch on. From a banking perspective, we are ready and we are ever ready to support.
Okay.